Hi everyone, Jamie here with Sweet Pickins. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. So we are gonna make a dessert tonight, and so I thought I'd bring you guys along. We have a barbecue going, and I made some rice and some asparagus tonight. If you wanna know how to make really good, yummy asparagus, there is a video on my page how to make the best asparagus. It is delicious. So I want to make a dessert tonight. So it's just me and Jeff here tonight. So it's only the two of us. However, this is something that you can make for a crowd or just one or two people. But it's really fun if you have a party, a get together, or you're going somewhere and you want to take something. This is such a fun, yummy treat. Now, this is just one possibility. You could use any different flavor, you could use different fruits. So just think outside of the box because it's amazing what you can do. So I started out with Jell-O instant pudding mix, and I use the Jell-O brand. I just find that Jell-O just has a really good flavor. So I did do 2 boxes. Obviously we're gonna need 2 boxes for this. However, we do like pudding. So this, we'll just snack on it throughout the week. So I already pre-made this. It's just the instant banana pudding. And then you're gonna need a couple of bananas. We may not use both of those just because we're only making 2 desserts. So we might only need 1. And then Nilla wafers. Who loves Nilla wafers? Oh, these were just such a staple in my life as a child. And then this is the fun part. 2 mason jars with the lids. So you are gonna need the lids. You're gonna need 2 mason jars. You could do the wide mouth, the standard mouth, whatever you wanna do. So we are gonna use these. So very simple, very easy. A little bit of prep up front because you're just basically just gonna put everything together. So this is already done, set up. I mixed it all and let it set up for about 10 minutes. So I honestly think we're only gonna need 1 banana. I grabbed 2 just in case. So let's start out by cutting the banana. So we are making a banana Nilla wafer jar dessert. So I usually make this, when I make this, it's usually for a lot of people. So I'm usually using 2, 3, 4 bananas, just kind of depending. But today I'm only gonna be needing just probably 1. I'm trying to get used to this only making for a small crowd because we've always had the kids, and now that everyone's grown and moved out, I am trying to learn how to make a little smaller, or we're eating stuff for days and days and days and days and days. So you're gonna wanna take your banana. I like to cut it long ways. So just long ways like this. And then I like to cut it not tiny, but small. So just whatever size you want, I'll show you. Typically, this is the size that I do. So it's a half. So simple. So I just cut those. Okay, and let me tell you one thing. You could actually make this in a bowl. You don't have to do it in the jars. The jars are just fun, they're individual, so that's why I'm gonna do them in a jar, but you could layer this in an actual bowl. So, all right, so let's go ahead and set the bananas aside. Now let's open the Nilla wafers. We love Nilla wafers. I grabbed the family size because these are just yummy to pop a couple in if you're having needing like a sweet. Okay, so what I like to do with these is I like to take them. Now, if you want to use a chopper, you absolutely can. I just find it easier just use a knife because I don't want them small. I don't want them to be all ground up. I want them to be somewhat chunky. So I like to just literally cut these in 4s. So I'll take the Nilla wafer and then I'll cut them in 4s. So that's what I like to do. Now, sometimes they'll break smaller, that's fine. And if you want them smaller, that's fine. I just don't want them to be too small where they become mushy. So we're just gonna chop a few up. I don't tend to chop more than one at a time, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because a lot of times they'll crumble. So I just chop one at a time. So this takes a couple minutes. Like I said, if you want to use a food processor, you can. I just like the texture of having them a little bit bigger, because if they're too small, they do become soggy. Now they will get moist because of your pudding. I will say this is probably a treat you're going to want to make and serve within, you know, a couple hours. It's not something you want to make the day before. Nilla wafers have gotten really thin. The cookie itself is a lot thinner than they have been. I haven't bought them in a while, but we do like them. Okay, so let's just start with that. So you can see there's all different sizes in there. All the crumbs, we're gonna use everything. So, all right, well, we'll start with that. If we need to make more, that's absolutely fine. So basically what this is it's a layer. So because I'm not using wide mouths, I'm using a smaller spoon so they don't get all yucky, and you really want to try to keep it clean and like layered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill the bottom with the banana pudding. So the jar is about 1/4 of the way, maybe a little bit more. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the bananas in. So you're just gonna drop bananas right on the top here. All right, let me grab a paper towel, because I did get a tiny bit on the side. And I like it to look really clean. Okay. So you can see, so you've got your pudding and then you've got a layer of bananas. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna just grab a handful of the Nilla wafers and put them in here. Okay, so now you've got this. So let's add some more pudding, but we're gonna add less pudding this time. We're just gonna make a layer, like a pretty thin layer. So you can see, just a thin layer. We're gonna do just a few more bananas right on the top, just a few, and then we're gonna add the crackers, or the Nilla wafers. So that's it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lid here and we're gonna screw it on, and look, how cute is this? So it's our own personal dessert. Now, if I'm having a party or a barbecue, I'm gonna put a cute little ribbon, maybe a little tag that says, you know, Nilla wafer pudding or banana pudding, however, whatever you want to put on here. And then I will actually put a spoon down in, and you know, the actual ribbon is just holding it. So ribbon, spoon, cute little tag. How cute are these? Now, again, don't make these the day before, make them the day of. Also, make sure you keep them in the fridge so they can stay nice and cold. But I just think what a cute presentation this is. It doesn't have to look perfect. Like you can see how it's seeping down in, because there was, you know, if there's space, your pudding's gonna go down in, but how cute is this? So guys, super, super, super easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one more so Jeff and I will both have one after supper tonight. We don't eat dessert every night, but once in a while I do. And I have to tell you really quick, we went to Slim Chickens. I almost called it Skinny Chickens yesterday for supper, and we had never been there before, and they had a version of this, and Jeff was hankering for it, but he got a milkshake. He's like, well, I don't want both. So I thought I'll just make some. So that's, you know, that's why I decided to make this tonight. Now, let's talk about different flavors. There's vanilla pudding. You could do vanilla pudding and strawberries in here, and you still could do the Nilla wafers if you want, or omit those totally. You could do the vanilla, strawberry, and some granola if you wanted, or you could do blueberries in here, raspberries, blackberries with like vanilla. Or you could just get totally creative. You could do a chocolate pudding and then do like crumbled up graham cracker and maybe a few like little marshmallows to make it like, you know, s'more-like. You could do the mini chocolate chips. You could do the graham crackers, the marshmallows, all the things with the chocolate pudding. So you just have to think outside the box, create your own. But this is so fun. And the whole fun part is putting in a jar, doing the ribbon, the tag, and the cute little spoon. Now, Jeff's not getting that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to hand this to him with the spoon. But if we're having a party, this is absolutely the way to go. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on the page. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to build our channel, so we would love it if you would like it and then subscribe it and maybe watch our other videos. And don't forget, we have a website, shopsweetpickens.com. You also can find us on Instagram and Facebook. All you have to do is type in Sweet Pickens Reno, Pickins Reno. You can find us there. We have reels and we have stories and we put stuff on every single day, so you can kind of see the ins and the outs and the behind the scenes on what's going on in everyday life over here at Sweet Pickens. So we would love it if you would follow us. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one.